Good afternoon to all. Now let us go to the main part, that is a gearbox design. How to design a gearbox. So there are four simple steps. The first step in a gearbox design is this one. Calculate speed steps. In how many steps you need to achieve the speed. For example, if you take any of the car which is commercially available, you can see that you can change the speed in 5 or 6 steps, correct? 5 steps for forward motion, that means the forward direction gears, and one will be the reverse direction gears. So at all the gearing parts the speeds will be different, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first gear the speed will different, second gear the speed will be different. So first of all we need to find out, if I want to reach from, let us say, from 100 to 500, how many steps I should have in my gearbox. Is 6 necessary, or I have to go for 8, I have to go for 12, etc. So that is the meaning of calculate speed steps. You have to go to the next step, which is calculate the number of stages and number of shafts in the gearbox assembly. So depending on the first step, you have to calculate now how many number of stage you will be using and how many number of shafts will be there on the gearbox. After doing this calculation, the third part is this one. Calculate the number of gear pairs. Step number 4. Calculate the number of teeths on each gear and draw gearbox layout. So the last step will be, as we have seen in the step number 3, which are the gears will be mating. तो वो मेटिंग गेयर्स के आपको नंबर ऑफ टीथ निकालना है कि ये वाले टीथ पे, पिनियन पे कितना गेयर रहेगा, टीथ रहेगा, गेयर पे कितना टीथ रहेगा, एंड देन फाइनली वी हैव टू गिव द gear box layout. Okay, this is the entire gearbox which I have designed. So the steps which you can see on the screen, 1 2 3 4, are very generalized steps. As I already told, this design of gearbox which I am showing you on the screen is just an bird's eye view. या आपको सिर्फ ऊपर से इतना 4 स्टेप दिख रहा है, if you see from the top. But if you go into the details, as you come nearer to the gearbox design, there is something hidden here, and that hidden is Chupa Rustam. From step 2 to step 3, there are many steps. You can name it at step number 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E. That is, if you want to go from 2 to 3, there are many intermediate steps which are hidden. Okay, that's why I have named it as Chupa Rustam. Okay, so if you see in the bird's eye view, you can see only the 4 steps, and you can tell, okay, I will do the 4 steps and I will get the answer. But if you come closer to it, you can see that between step number 2 and step number 3, there are around 5 to 6 intermediate steps. If you want to reach to step number 3, you have to follow that steps, intermediate steps, then only you will go to step number 3. And similarly, there is a Chupa Rustam between 3 and 4. So again, if you want to go from step number 3 to step number 4, you have to again have some internal steps. So let us name it as 3A, 3B, 3C, etc. And then only you can go to step number 4, which will be the final step.
डायग्राम भी है कैसे?
Which diagram?
गियर बॉक्स की.
No, gearbox diagram you have to draw. See in the 4th step. Calculate number of teeths on each gear and draw gearbox layout. So you have to draw after designing कि मेरे gearbox में कितने shaft होने वाले, उस shaft पे कितने gear होंगे, वो gear के dimensions क्या होंगे, वो gear पे number of teeth क्या होंगे, वो कहाँ पर रहेगा. This all things you have to give in the gearbox layout. Okay, so are you all geared up to design gearbox? Okay, let me ask the question like this. Are you all geared up
Yes,
to
sir.
design
Yes,
a gearbox?
sir.
Okay, so I can
Yes,
hear
sir.
only 2 to 3
Yes, sir.
voices.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as you all are geared up to start with the gearbox design, let us start with that. Okay, so first step, as I mentioned, the first step will be calculate the speed steps. There is some laws of step regulation which is followed by all the companies. ताकि अगर मैं मार्केट में जाऊं तो I can replace it by the standard parts. So now we have to study what are the different regulations for speed in the gearbox. The first one is the arithmetic progression. The second one is the harmonic progression. And the third one is the geometric progression. I hope you have heard these terms before also.
Yes, sir.
Arithmetic progression, harmonic progression, and geometric progression. So let us see these laws in details, because this is the thing which is the first step which you have to start with the gearbox design. Okay, again the forum is open to your side. What do you mean by the term arithmetic progression? Again, forum is open.
Difference between two
Difference
consecutive numbers
will be
is the
same.
same.
Correct, perfect answer. The difference between two numbers, or if I go into the more technical terms, the difference between two consecutive numbers will be same or constant. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because if you tell only two numbers, it can be anything. So just I have made one technical changes in that. The difference between the two consecutive numbers should be same. So I have an example for you. The example is this. Can you identify whether it is a AP or not?
Yes, sir. 3 is the
Yes.
consecutive difference.
Correct, correct. So if I take the difference between the two consecutive numbers, that is 2 and 5, I will get 3. Again, here the two consecutive numbers are 8 and 5, so I will get 3. Here also 3 and here also 3. So what I can observe is the difference between the two consecutive numbers is constant, that is 3. Hence, I can say that this is following arithmetic progression. Any doubts in that?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay. So the same logic is applied in gearbox also. Same logic is applied in the gearbox also. Let us say I am giving you the first speed. The first speed of the gearbox is 100. These are number just for indicative purpose. This has nothing to do with the real life example. I am just giving the indicative numbers. 100 and the second one is 150. So can you tell me what will be the third speed?
200.
Correct. It will be 200 because I have to maintain a difference of 50.
50.
Correct. For it to be a AP, I have to maintain a difference of 50. What will be next speed? 250.
250.
What will be next? 300. Okay.
So
And so on. I can go on doing the iterations and I will get the answers. Now let us say in the question में तो आपको नहीं बोला होगा. You are a designer. Question में आपको नहीं बोला होगा कि हमको AP चाहिए, GP चाहिए, क्या चाहिए. You have to decide based on the requirement. Question में आपको क्या mention होगा और what the customer will give you. I want the minimum speed to be 100. I want maximum speed to be 300. That's it. So customer told you that I want the minimum speed to be 100, whatever unit it can be, and the maximum speed is 300. And as a designer, you are thinking of going for arithmetic progression. So how you will find out the common difference? Do you have any idea? मेरे पास सिर्फ first available है, last available है, and I know that I have to follow arithmetic progression. So how can you find out this 50 as the answer? Any idea to anyone?
Sn equal to n by 2 bracket n plus 1, something like that.
Okay, something.
Not
Okay. Okay, so let me write a formula first and then we will verify whether my written formula is correct or not. So let me denote that common ratio by A, जो normally हम लोग करते हैं, या you can also tell it as R, common ratio, common difference. तुम लोग normally D पढ़ते होंगे, कोई बात नहीं. These are just the alphabets, don't worry for that. So let us say if I write A, that is the common difference between the two steps should be n max, because I have this value, minus n mean divided by z minus 1. So now what is your doubt? If I have written this formula, what is your doubt? What doubts are coming into your mind?
Z. What is
Z,
Z?
correct. That was the expected question or that was the expected doubt. Sir, n max तो समझ में आ गया कि maximum speed, n min भी समझ में आ गया minimum speed. What is that? ये Z की भला क्या है? अब नई चीज. तो Z are the number of steps you want. 100 से 300 पे जाने के लिए आपको कितने गेयर चाहिए? 2 गेयर में हो जाना चाहिए, मतलब 100 से सीधा 300 पे पहुंच जाऊं, या 100 से मुझे 150 पे पहुंचना है, फिर 200 पे पहुंचना है. So that is again the requirement. How many stages you want? So just observe and tell me how many stages I have taken in my example.
5.
Okay, let us write down here. Let us write down here. N max कितना होगा? 300.
300.
N min is 100 divided by how many speed variations are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I write Z is 5 minus 1, so what I will get is 200 divided by 4, and that is 50. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So you can just observe the first is 100. Then if I add the common difference 50, 50, 50, I can reach to 300 in 5 steps. किसी को कोई doubt है इसमें?
No, sir.
So
No.
I would now write the formula which you will be using in the gearbox design if you are using arithmetic progression. So I will write down the formula here. So the formula is A is equal to, that is common difference is equal to, the formula is n max, I am writing it just clearly the same thing, minus n min, that is minimum speed, divided by divided by z minus 1, where I will write where z is total number of steps. Okay, so total number of steps minus 1 will give you the formula. किसी को कोई doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay, so expanding this further, what can you tell about the first speed in the gearbox? What will be your N1? It's very common question or very simple question. It's already available on the screen.
उसने जो लोअर लिमिट दिया रहेगा.
Correct. क्वेश्चन में जो लोअर लिमिट रहेगा वही तो हमारी फर्स्ट स्पीड होगी ना. Is it logical?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let us say if I continue with the above example only, I will write N1 is equal to 100. So can I not write N2 is equal to N1 plus A? Can I write this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, just see ना, हमने arithmetic progression का मतलब ही वो बोले कि it has a common difference. तो अगर मैं common difference से ऐड करते जाऊंगा तो मुझे next speed मिलते जाएगी. So N2 I can write N1 plus A. Similarly, what can I write about N3? Can you give me the answer? How can I find N3?
N2 plus
N2
A.
plus A.
Correct. And it will be N2 plus A. Similarly, I can find out N4 is equal to N3 plus A, and I can find out N5 is equal to N4 plus A, and this will also be your maximum speed, yes or no? If there are 5 stages, or if I want the 5 speeds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from this, what we have covered is the first step of any problem of gearbox design. What you have to do is find out the common difference and find out what are the different speeds available. That is what will be N1, what will be N2, N3, N4 and N5 for a particular requirement of maximum and minimum. Now on the similar lines, let us now discuss on geometric progression. So again, the forum is open for your side. What do you mean by a geometric progression?
Which ratio remains the same between the two preceding one.
Correct. I take it as a correct answer from your side. In the arithmetic progression, the difference between the two terms is constant, or the two consecutive term is constant. Geometric progression, the ratio of two consecutive terms remains constant. Only the difference word has been replaced by ratio. So if I want to tell you about geometric progression, I will just tell the ratio of the two consecutive terms remains constant. So again, I have an example to show you, and the example is this. Okay, just observe the first level. Okay, just observe the first level. First level पे वो बेचारा अकेला था, ठीक है. उसके नीचे कितने आ गए सेकंड लेवल पे? How many of them are there?
3.
3.
Three.
Okay, so let me write down 1, 2, 3. So if I take the ratio of second stage to first stage, यहाँ पर तो एक सिंगल था और यहाँ पे 3 है. So if I take the ratio of second stage, there are 3 people. To the first stage, I will get 3 answer. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just compare the third stage with the second stage. अब इसमें देखो, ये जो एक बंदा है उसके नीचे फिर से 3 है. Let us say 4, 5 and 6. Again, if you take the ratio, ये 3 के ऊपर सिर्फ 1 है.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, what will be ratio coming? 3/1 equal to 3. Again, go forward to the next step. Here you can see under this one person there are 3. तो वापस से रेशियो क्या हो रहा है? 3 1 के अंडर में. So again the ratio will be 3/1, which is equal to 3. So I hope you have now understood the concept of geometric progression. That
Yes, sir.
the two consecutive levels or two consecutive speed, if I go into the gearbox side now, the ratio between the two consecutive speeds should remain constant. Are you agreeing to this?
Yes, sir.
The ratio of two consecutive speeds should be constant. So let me write down the example now. Let us say I have the value of N1. I will take the same example, 100. Okay. Let us say I am giving you the common ratio is 2. So what I will get? N2 is equal to 200. Correct?
400 फिर 800.
Yes, correct. So N3 will be 400, N4 will be 800, and N5 will be 1600. So if you can see or you can observe, if I take the ratio of the first and the second, that means the two consecutive terms, I am getting the same common ratio as 2. And because the common ratio is same, I will tell that this pattern is following a geometric progression pattern. Any doubts to anyone?
No, sir.
No,
No
sir.
doubt.
Now just tell me, if I give you some data, which progression you will follow? You will follow arithmetic or you will follow geometric?
Depending on the output we need.
Depending on the output. Okay, let me give the output also. The output is, or the requirement is same. The customer is telling you that I want a minimum speed of 100 and let us say maximum speed of 800. So this is my n minimum and that is n maximum. So now tell me which you will be using, arithmetic progression or geometric progression?
Geometric progression.
Geometric
Geometric
progression.
में optimum
Okay,
number of
so
stages.
good. So that was thing which I want to make you understand. Arithmetic progression में क्या हो रहा है, स्टार्ट टू एंड जाने के मुझे नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स ज्यादा लग रहे हैं. ठीक है, देखो अगर मैं 100 से स्टार्ट करता हूं तो 100 से होगा वो सपोज 150, फिर 200, फिर 250, 300, 350, 400 एंड सो ऑन. सो इट विल टेक नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स टू गो टू 800. और जितने नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स बढ़ेंगे उतने गियर बढ़ेंगे, उतने शाफ्ट्स बढ़ेंगे. समझ में आ रहा है लॉजिक? So that's why what we are going into account is we will go for the geometric progression. So to reduce the number of steps, we are going for the geometric progression. किसी को डाउट है? Yes, please go ahead. कोई डाउट?
No, sir, no doubt.
No, sir.
So now, as we have discussed in arithmetic progression, ये 2 यहाँ पर तो मैंने आपको दे दिया, तो आपने फटफट बता दी 100, 200, 200 का 400. बस as we have discussed in arithmetic progression, अगर मुझे ये फाइंड करना है व्हाट इज दिस कॉमन रेशियो, सो व्हाट शुड आई डू? तो चलो मैं पहले फॉर्मूला लिखता हूं जैसा मैंने वहां पर लिखा था, फिर मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूं कि दैट फॉर्मूला इज करेक्ट विद दैट सेम एग्जांपल. सो हियर द कॉमन रेशियो इज डिनोटेड बाय अ ग्रीक लेटर दैट इज फाई. ठीक है, तो ये टर्मिनोलॉजी है गेयर बॉक्स की, दैट इफ यू आर यूजिंग अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन यू यूज a एज योर कॉमन डिफरेंस, एंड इफ यू आर यूजिंग ज्योमेट्रिक प्रोग्रेशन यूज फाई एज द कॉमन रेशियो. सो फाई फॉर्मूला इज n max अपॉन n मीन. देखो दोनों में डिफरेंस, वहां पर हमने क्या बोले थे अरिथमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन में, द कॉमन इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू वैल्यूज. तो अपना फॉर्मूले में भी क्या आ रहा था, n max माइनस n मीन. यहाँ पर हमने डेफिनेशन में क्या बोले, इट इज द रेशियो ऑफ टू थिंग्स. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम राइटिंग n max अपॉन n मीन एंड दिस शुड बी रेज्ड टू z माइनस 1. वहां पर डिवाइड में था, यहाँ पर रेज्ड टू में. नाउ जस्ट वी विल सी that whether this formula is correct or not, we are getting 2 or not. So let us substitute. Phi is equal to, what is my maximum speed as per the example?
1600.
1600. Okay, 1600 divided by minimum speed is 100, correct? Raised to 1 upon how many steps I am going? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 1 upon 5
And
minus
5.
1, that is 1 by, sorry, 1 4. So what is the answer for this? Can you please calculate and tell? 16 का 4th root. 16 का 4th root is 2. 2 raised to 4 ही तो 16 होता है. So answer you are getting is 2, which is this one, and we are correct on our formula side. So understood?
Yes, sir.
So now this is the formula which we are going to use to find the ratio, that is phi. So here I have one more example. देखो अगर first term आपका a है, so it is now logical. We have already explained this. अगर आपका फर्स्ट टर्म ए है तो सेकंड टर्म क्या हो जाएगा, उसको मल्टीप्लाई कर लो आपके रेशियो के साथ. थर्ड टर्म क्या होगा, उसको एक बार और मल्टीप्लाई करो. फोर्थ टर्म क्या होगा, उसको और एक बार मल्टीप्लाई करो. सो ऑन द सेम लाइंस लेट अस से इफ आई गिव यू एग्जांपल दैट माय n1 is 100 rpm and I am giving you the common difference is phi is equal to 2. That is common ratio. So can you tell me what is n2? What can be n2?
200.
200. What you do is n1 multiplied by 5, correct? 5 मतलब वो Greek letter 5, not 5.
Yes.
Okay. So will you get answer? n1 into 5 करोगे तो आंसर आ जाएगा for n2. Similarly,
Yes, sir.
if you go
Yes.
for n3, if you want to find out n3, you need to do n2 multiplied by 5, correct? n4 will be
Yes.
n3 multiplied by 5 and n5 will be n4 multiplied by 5. And this n1 will be your n minimum speed and this n5 will be your n maximum speed. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is how you will proceed in the problem first step to find out speeds at various steps, starting from the minimum to maximum, and whatever progression you follow. And now I have told you what is the reason that we follow mostly geometrical progression many times. Okay, so in all our problems also we will follow geometric progression only. So the first step in any problem will now become to find out the ratio, or you can say common ratio, for which I have given you the formula. The common ratio is phi is equal to n max upon n min raised to 1 upon z minus 1. So when you get phi, that is the common ratio, then you can find out all these values. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I want answer from your side. As soon as you see the question of gearbox design, what will be your first step? Come on, go ahead.
Geometric progression.
Phi.
Correct, simple. The first thing in any problem of gear design, you will find out phi, that is the common ratio. You have n max, you have n min, you have the value of z, you will get the value of phi. And once you get value of phi, now you can find out all these six values. So if I told you, let us say, I told you the minimum is 100 and maximum is 1000, and I want to achieve in 6 steps. So first of all, I will find out phi, then I will find out n1, n2, n3, n4, n5, and n6. Understood this step?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so two things we have already discussed. First was the arithmetic progression, second is the geometric progression, and the third remaining one is harmonic progression. So that is not used extensively in our design purpose, so I will not spend much more time into it. As I have already told you that geometric progression will be our base to design any gearbox.